are. I think we are. Microphone. There we go.
Okay, it says recording, and I'm for it, but I think I'm going to see if I can get us some more light.
Okay, now we're recording. Yeah, it says we're recording. Well, episode 3 of 4. After some technical difficulties, it managed the internet. The internet gods smiled upon us and miraculously punched through our image and video. So,
well, I'm so glad because I love to be on with you, Tommy. You're the greatest.
Oh, well, thank you, Mitzi. Thank you for coming on.
I feel as if for us select few who've discovered you, you're our own personal Joe Rogan.
Oh, thank you. That is, I feel like that's kind of what's happening with it. Is it's becoming its own tiny little cult following. Because I've developed a small following, and the people that have started watching say they sincerely love it, and they're sad that they didn't discover it earlier. So, not to toot my own horn, but yeah.
Well, don't bother to toot your horn because I'm going to go do it for you. No, since I discovered you, you influenced the way my day works out because I start my day listening and watching you.
Well, that is...
And guess what? I find you more entertaining, just plain better than like network TV. So I don't even turn it on. I turn you on, sir.
Well, thank you, Mitzi. I'm flattered. It's you mentioned it to me, and I've had people now comment it saying that they have like notifications set on for this podcast, but they won't get notified by it. When they search for it in YouTube, it won't show up. It's the same thing as you talked about.
Yeah, in fact, let's get into that because, hey, censors, we're going to be talking about you. Okay, so let the censors be entertained as we talk about them. The thing that I found so amazing is I don't think I'm very controversial. I talk about human trafficking, and yet when I was on the last time, being an egomaniac narcissist, of course I turn it on as soon as you put it on, and not because I want to hear myself, but because I wanted to see how many viewers. Well, there were 96, and the podcast had been up like 6 minutes, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
If in 6 minutes, and by the way, this was like 4 a.m. or something. I can't swear it was 4 a.m, but it was early enough so that you don't expect a whole lot of visits. So I'm feeling really good. Oh, I bet there's going to be thousands and thousands by the end of the day. And then I'd turn it on like maybe an hour later, and instead of being, I think we're initially talking 96, it had dropped to 74. And how can you unview a podcast? It doesn't make sense to me that the counting goes backwards and then it didn't grow again.
Yeah.
Something is really fishy. And Mr. Censor, would you please make an exception for us? Because we're good guys. Let us get our counts.
Well, they're intrinsically evil, so I think that works against us. I
was trying to mollify them. No, this is on the theory that we're a three-way conversation right now. Sure. It's you, me, and Mr. Censor. And my spies tell me that he's really cute.
Yeah, well, Mr. Censor, Mitzi thinks you're very cute. The only
and then if it's a Ms. Censor, oh gosh, you've really got it together. Wow.
It's the only thing I've looked up on how views can go backwards would be like if it was a misleading title or something and people clicked on it and then immediately clicked out. I've heard of YouTube like erasing views, but that's fairly rare, and I think that only happens with huge channels. What is weird, and I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know the exact video, is where it went up and it was just spiking. It's immediately just like, for me, a good video is like 100 views in the first 24 hours. So every once in a while...
But 96 in the first like 6 minutes.
Well, that's what I know. And that's happened before with like the Delta Force guys, where we'll go on and I'll just keep refreshing it and it'll be, 70, 80, 90. And it's just like jumping. And it's like, oh, nice. I hit one out of the park. And it's always around 100 that it seems that it's somebody just came up and broke the knees of the video. It just it just stops. And
Yeah.
I've known, because sometimes I'll post it on websites like Reddit or something, and I'll watch the post be going up, an equal number of votes. So it'll be 80, 90. So it's that many people. So you can kind of correlate it. Well, the post will then go up to like 10, 11,000, and the video will peter out at 102, and then it won't gain a single new view for 30 days.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's disheartening, because it's like I worked so hard on this. It's disheartening.
Well, I can think of a couple of alternatives. One is post somewhere else. The other is, if it's Ms. Censor, smooths her.
Yeah.
I'm going to say smooths her.
Yeah.
And if it's Mr. Please make an exception for us, because we're so interesting and so great. I mean, you just got to change your mind.
Yeah, and
this is again assuming that this is a three-way conversation.
Yeah, I don't think
between the Spencer and you and me.
I don't think we even get that much of their attention. I think we're probably just an algorithm. I think like a huge channel like a Joe Rogan, I think he would probably get like an individual team, but I think it's just an algorithm, because. Okay,
then how do you smooth an algorithm? I guess
you don't. It's even more unhuman and detached. It's just you've been flagged, and I had an episode taken down by YouTube. It's the first time it's ever happened. Episode 288, and it was with the Special Forces guys, and they were just talking about going to DC on the 6th and protesting. YouTube took it down and gave me a personal warning, and said that I violated the terms of service for inciting the actions of a violent organization. Just
oh my.
But if you go on YouTube and call for you and Antifa to go burn down a city, it's fine. But we talked about going to a protest that have been happening. It's 2020. Protests happen with every sunrise. I got a flag for that, and I got it removed, and I appealed it, and they said no. And so that's when I started uploading to BitChute and Rumble. Those are two YouTube alternatives, because to me that was like a shot across the bow. I was like, okay, they're just inching forward their censorship bit by bit by bit. I mean, we know, you look on Twitter with every Trump tweet, they put their own little, election fraud does not happen. YouTube, on Christmas Eve, Trump uploaded a video called "The Plot to Steal America," and it was all about the CCP, which is that's a thing. That's Brigadier General Robert Spalding, Michael Pillsbury, 100-Year Marathon, the Stealth War. That's a known thing. And he put up this 17-minute video. And it was kind of, condensed. Instead of a 10-hour audiobook, it was a digestible video, really catchy. It got to 900,000 views in the first couple hours. And then YouTube deleted it and deleted all of his new videos. And they're only now today letting Trump put up new videos. That's the President of the United States. And they're just removing videos. It's going to a very bad place very quickly, because these are, everyone knows what Eisenhower warned about, the military-industrial complex, but later in the speech he warned about the technocratic elite, and it would be a few elite who, through the mechanisms of ever-advancing science, would gain an edge over the rest of humanity. Kind of like a wealth disparity, but this would be a technological disparity. And not in the sense that everyone in America has an iPhone and in Africa they don't, but rather it's more so along the lines of what we're seeing now. A handful of CEOs control what shows up on the phones of 7 billion people. And it's not good. It's not good. It's going downhill fast, I think.
You know what? I'm making a guess right now. I bet there's no record of this podcast going to more than 99 people, because I don't think this is congenial to the algorithm.
No, it won't. It'll peter out, and Yeah, it's
But you know that I'm going to circle back to my podcast with you. Actually, I think I've had 3 so far. But the latest one, the one where I followed that it just instantly went to 96 and then dropped back to 74. I don't think we said a single political thing. I just don't get why I would be a target. I'm not generally political. I'm as apolitical as I can be.
sure.
So why me? What did I do?
I think
I associate with you.
I was about to say, and you know, at first I would think about like what guess. I'd be like, we didn't even say anything. But now I'm looking at like, oh, now I think it's just association with me. You're just
No, because the one that I had, which had 96 in the first like 7 minutes or however long, we were talking about human trafficking, and I wasn't slamming anybody. As I recall, I was telling people what to look for or what to do if you see something. And that should not be controversial unless the human traffickers are associating with the censors or the algorithms. And I'm not ready to believe that.
I wouldn't throw it out the not necessarily human trafficking, but what we know goes with human trafficking is organ harvesting, and organ harvesting, which the hub on the planet, China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So organ harvesting is what was political.
Yeah. Yeah. Because China is known for organ harvesting.
All right, you're red pilling me.
But the thing is, it's not even me. It's YouTube's red pilling you. Because otherwise it would just be a podcast we did. But when that goes up and the views cut off, or it says it's controversial or whatever, to me that just points at them, and I'm like, okay, well, this is clearly a sensitive topic. Well, we know CCP money it goes hand in hand with big tech and Hollywood. Trump went into that in that video that was deleted, which just proves it even further. But yeah, it goes to we weren't even talking about that. We were just talking about organ harvesting.
Boy, but that's also a mystery, because up until this moment, I could not figure why apolitical me, sort of, would trigger any algorithm. But as you say, the world central of that issue is China.
Yeah. No, it's 100% that. It's 100% that. There's no way around it. Excuse me?
Can you be double red pilled?
I think you can.
Because I just feel as if my eyes are being opened to things that were 100% invisible, and I was in my nice little blue pill world.
Yeah. No, the red pill is an experience.
Does everybody in the world know about red pill and blue pill?
Yeah, I would. Well, you don't know about it until it happens, and then you know about it. It's red pill is just the hard truth.
I know the reference of the Matrix.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I mean, because I have 2 sons who say, Mitzi or Mom, you got to watch this. It's a cultural imperative, and you can't operate in the world if you haven't seen the Matrix.
Yeah.
So of course I watch it, and now I know about red pilling and blue pilling.
Yeah, but it seems like that's the case. Like, it's no one wants that. The red pill is the uncomfortable truth that's very difficult when it happens, but then it's liberating afterwards, right? It's going cold turkey off a drug. It's, instead of hair of the dog, it's just going through the hangover. It's whatever. You always feel better after.
Well, I don't want to live in a dream world, so I'll take the red pill.
Yeah. But most people, I think, don't want it, or nowadays we just see in general with the stifling of free speech that I think some people, it's not even so much so that it's like, I don't want to exist in that red pill world. I just want to live in a happy little world. I don't think it's even that. I think they legitimately believe that if we just kick off the people we don't like, then by removing them, then our reality is the real one. It's not even as innocent as I just want everything to be happy and peaceful. It's kick out dissenting thought, remove it from this virtual soapbox, the public square, and then it's no longer an issue, and now that voice is gone, and that's kind of become their thing. But then you can take it one step further, and when now we're in a, where you have to be plugged in order to survive. You can have, if you're deplatformed, you can also, it happened to Alex Jones. He had his bank accounts removed, his online bank accounts removed, his digital stores removed. So you can now remove people's ability to make a living. When you do that, just like self-censorship, well, you're now having self-censorship because it's people going, I can't risk. Mitzi? I think we just lost Mitzi.